How are you?
Very good, Mark.
How's business been?
Yeah, very good. It's been,
You were saying before we came online it's been a little bit gangbuster. So what's happening? What's driving all that?
I think what's interesting is when people feel more confident in markets and in their business, they then think, let's go and get advice. So we've had this huge rush of people in the last probably 3 weeks come into us and say, okay, Craig, we've got to start planning our future, let's go.
But why are they confident? You know, the US looks silly. Mr. Abbott's come into power. Is that what drives them into confidence?
Maybe some of
They've
them
got
are
weddings to go to. They can claim.
I think some of them are looking at the last year's return, end of the financial year. So we've published all our returns on all our funds. So that they're looking at their returns. That's good. Yes. You know, the government change, I think, has created a bit of positive feel through the clients we deal with.
And it would do, because there's no opposition. It's not like, they haven't deleted us. So you've got this honeymoon period as well as this non-whinging period, which is quite good for everyone. I think they can turn the TV up now.
Yeah, which we just love. I mean, we love it when clients want to plan their future. That's what we're all about.
So when it comes to that, and we've got an interest rate strategist from Nomura, clearly an expert in his field. That's a great thing to do. But how do you define and tap into those experts? If I show up to you and say, look, I want widgets. I want to trade widgets. How do you find an expert?
So the way we work at Navwealth is we have internal advisors, of course. We have financial planners, accountants, lending specialists, insurance specialists. But a lot of the time, we need to find specialists outside that. So we call them our advice partners. So when we look for advice partners, we look for specialists in particular fields. So and there's two parts to that. There's the advice providers. So do we need a specialist tax lawyer? Do we need a specialist estate planner, for example? Then on the other side, the investment side, Mark, where you're referring to, is we then need to find an expert on fixed interest, or we then need to find an expert on hybrids, or we then need to find various, or fund managers perhaps. So we're about going and finding all those specialist people and bringing them together.
And is that your value add, being able to identify who is a specialist and who's just a spreaker?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Has the US, the behaviour at the moment of the US Congress and all the US, we talk about this a lot on the show because it's definitely the animal that sneezes, we get hurt. Are your clients talking about that, or are they just piling?
Not really. All they keep saying to us is my strategy right for what's going on in the world and the market today? And so we'll sit down with those individual mum and dad clients and say, well, okay, let's look at your asset allocation, let's look at your strategy, and let's look at the impact of what's going on, whatever it is at the time, on your strategy. So we don't get a lot of noise from the mum and dad clients, no.